Hey Glam Squad, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's Creative Sunday, I am playing around with a ton of different products and creating this Barbie pink smoky eye for you. So yeah, I'd advise you to grab a strong cup of coffee, sit down and relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. So for this look, I'm going to be kind of going between two different palettes. The main palette I'm going to be using is this one. This is the Volume 2 Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. This is like my go-to palette at the minute. I just love all the bright colourful looks. The pigment is insane. They blend beautifully and oh my god, it's just an incredible palette. I'd highly recommend it, by the way. If you really like bright fun colours and getting creative, I'd highly recommend this palette. Guys, I've been doing loads of pink looks, haven't I? I'm sorry, I'm just like so obsessed with pink at the minute. But yeah, so I need a transitional shade, so I'm going to be using this pink from the James Charles palette, and then also this colour right here, which is just a shimmery champagne colour for the inner corner, because again there was nothing that kind of like pale champagne-y shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette. I hate using different palettes in my tutorials. Typically I like to just stick with one palette, purely because I know myself when I'm watching makeup tutorials and the person is going from like loads of different palettes. I'm like, I only have this palette and I need this one and this one. So you have to like go out and buy more palettes, or you're not going to be able to recreate the look even though you have the main palette. So that is the kind of main reason why I like to stick to one palette, to make it easier for you guys to recreate the look as well. Just using like one palette that you already have or one palette that you're thinking of getting. So that is kind of the reasoning behind that. But I mean, it's fun to kind of play with different palettes once they're in front of you, you know. Okay, so I'm going to stop blabbing now and I'm going to get into it. So I'm going to move in a little bit closer. I've wanted to do a tutorial like this for so long, and I just wanted to go for like the round effect. Like for the last couple of tutorials I've been doing like, you know, that kind of wing effect, but I wanted to do something like round and doll-like, just to do something different and mix it up a bit. And I promise I won't do any more pink looks for a while, because I know I've kind of overdone it a little bit, but that's okay. So to start off, I'm going to be taking this fluffy blending brush from Blank Canvas Cosmetics. It's just a little bit bigger than your like average blending brush, and I like this for transitional shades because it's so like fluffy and big. You don't get much colour payoff on it, which means it's absolutely perfect for transitional shades because you just want to wash a colour over the lid. So I always go for this brush for my transitional shades. I just think it's the perfect brush. So I'm going to be taking that blending brush with that pale pink shade. I already have my lids nice and primed. I'm actually just going to run across it again. You can see it's creasing there already. So you want to make sure that your lid is nice and smooth. So I'm just going to be blending that transitional shade, again holding it at the end of the handle. You guys probably know this off by heart, but for anyone that's new to my channel, you may not know. So I do apologize if I like repeat myself a lot, and it's purely because I know some people just like come across my videos and they're not subscribed to me, and I don't want to like just assume that people know, because sometimes people don't know. So again, you're holding it at the end of the handle for the least amount of pressure. Again, because this brush is lovely and fluffy, you're going to get the least amount of colour payoff, which again is perfect because I just want that wash of colour over the lid, which again, as you know, is going to really help with blending. Another blending brush, this one's from Morphe. It's the M433. I always leave everything linked in the description box anyway. It's dirty because I just used it on this side. So I'm just going to be dipping into Therapy Set, which is like a kind of like a purpley pink. Yeah. I like doubted myself there for a second. I was like, is that what I did? Is that what I already did? Okay, so I'm taking that purpley pink, and I'm holding the brush again at the end of the handle, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start tapping the colour onto the lid area. This. And I'm not going to bring it right in here to the inner corner. We're going to leave that free because I will be putting the highlight shade in there, and if you bring like pinks kind of in too close to the eyes anyway, it can just make you look a little bit sick. So we want to keep like the main amount of colour from like here, from where your lashes start, I suppose, and then like tapping it. And if you hold the brush this way and just tap it, you're going to get more colour payoff. You can bring your hand up kind of closer to the top of the handle if you want. It will just give you a little bit more control, and it will give you a little bit more, I suppose, pressure and colour payoff as well on the lid. So you can do that if you like. Now I like to just bring it back down again once I have the colour in place. So again, I'm just tapping, placing it on there. And now I'm going to flip the brush upwards, and we're just going to start to swirl it around. So I'm just kind of softening out the edges. So I'm just dipping into Tipsy Girl now, which is that lovely bubble gum pink, and this is going right into the crease of the eye. So I'm getting the main kind of colour right here. So the brush is kind of like kind of straight up here, and this we're just going to go right into the crease, and then you can start kind of swirling the brush around to kind of buff it out like so. Don't worry, you can bring it right into the inner corner to buff, just so it's like not choppy or anything. Going back to my other blending brush and that pale pink, I'm just going to go around the edges so it's nice and blended. So for liner, I'm going to be using this one from Sigma. I do have the Morphe one, but I want to use this one before I open the Morphe one, because I find that gel liners dry up so quickly. So I'm just going to take my time, use one at a time. But I feel like a gel liner is a gel liner, to be fair. So I'm just going to be using this angle brush from Sigma. It's the E65, and I'm just going to create quite a thick band of liner. I just like to pull my lid taut. I know it's not the greatest. So then I'm going to go from the outer corner, and I'm just going to actually just kind of bring across. I feel like with just like a band of liner, sometimes I just like to do it in one swoop, because if you keep going back over it, it gets all like crumbly. No matter what gel liner you use, I feel like it's going to get a little bit crumbly the more you go over it. I always apply a thin layer of mascara onto my lashes before I apply my falsies, just so they can blend nicely together. And then for my falsies, I'm going to be using these beautiful fluttery lashes. These ones are called, they're actually flutter lashes, and they're called Intoxicating. This was actually a recommendation from Jaclyn Hill herself, like years ago. I remember watching one of her videos and I just loved the lashes on her, and so I picked these up, and I can't remember the price or anything, but they are absolutely beautiful. They do have quite a thick band, but saying that, I actually find them really easy to apply. I never have any issues with them popping off in the inner corner, which sometimes is a problem with like thick lashes like this that have a black band. Okay, so I'm just going back with a pale pink shade. I'm just going to run this with the same brush just on the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to go in with my pencil brush and a little bit of Tipsy Girl and Dance Party, which is just like a little bit of a deeper pink, and I'm just going to run this nice and tight against the lashes. I decided to use a black liner for the waterline. I don't know, I just decided to go for black for a change. I've been using kind of nude a lot lately, so I just thought white, the black would be nice. I'm going to wait until I have done my concealer and my powder and everything to apply my mascara to my lower lashes, just in case I need to go back with a little bit more pink and to kind of smudge it out. If I go in with my mascara, I'm going to end up smudging the mascara when I'm buffing the pink out, and it can just become a hot mess. I almost forgot about the inner corner, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of champagne into the inner corner, and also just on the brow bone. I love an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight. I just feel like it ties the whole look together. Okay, so for foundation, I'm going to be using this CC cream from It Cosmetics. Again, oh, this was too dark for me, wasn't it? Same issue every time I use it. So I'm actually going to mix a little bit of the Clinique's Skin Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. It's 2-in-1, and I'm literally just going to use this just because it's a little bit too dark for me. So, and this one is like a little bit too light, so mixing the two of them together should give me a nice colour, I hope. Yes, I like that. So I just like to stipple in my foundation. I'm going to use MAC's Give Me Sun bronzer, and I'm just going to use this to warm up my entire complexion, and then I'm going to go in with Hoola bronzer to contour. And I like the kind of, because this is really warm and this is really cool, I just think that they go lovely together. So I love the fact that this kind of warms up my complexion, and then I get quite a chiseled finish with this. I hate that when you're like doing your foundation, you're gonna itch in your nose and you can't scratch your nose. Really annoying. Okay, so I'm going to be using this angle brush from Morphe. This is the M405. It's like an angle brush. I've been loving this for like my contour and my bronzer. So I'm just keeping this quite high up. Just like the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth is where your contour should go. So if we keep it nice and high up. I love this bronzer, by the way. I've been using this bronzer for years now, and it's honestly my favorite. Like, I don't know what it is it just the warmth in it? It just always makes my skin look flawless, and anytime I do makeup looks with it as well, I always know, because I feel like my bronzer is like perfect in all the photos. So it's like, I know it's it's kind of expensive, but I don't know, actually I think I haven't actually bought MAC products in like the longest time, so their products might be cheaper now because I know there's a lot of competition. I know they reduce the prices of their eyeshadows, so their products might be a little bit cheaper, but I just feel like this is like really worth the money. I've really got my money's worth out of it, to be fair. But yeah, I love it, I really do. And even though there's a couple of like bronzers in the market that are kind of the same tone, I used to always recommend the Rimmel one. And it is really, really similar, but I still find myself reaching for this one all the time. If I have like nights out, parties, it's like my MAC Give Me Sun is like my go-to. I'm just going to be taking Hoola now and this tiny little brush. I don't know what brand it is, Madison or something. And this, I'm just going to swirl it around, just keeping it nice and tight here, right above the top of my ear, just kind of swirling it around. And this is just going to chisel out my contour a little bit. So I saw in one of Nikki tutorials, she shared a tip with her audience. So she said you take your bronzer. I'm going to go into the deeper, cooler tone one to bronze my nose because I don't want an orange nose. So I'm just going to take another version of that first brush I used. This one's from Blank Canvas Cosmetics, doesn't have a number on it. I'm just going to tap off the excess in the back of my hand. And I'm just going to swirl my bronzer around my whole nose. So she said just apply your bronzer all over your nose. Again, I'm not a big fan of the packaging. I think I've mentioned this before. Like, it's just, the cap is just makes it really messy. Like, it's really cute, but I like to have a nice deep cap or something that I can put my powder on. Like, this is just really awkward. Okay, so I pray this works. So she said, grab your sponge and then start to chisel out your nose. So you want to bring it right to the bridge of your nose. So like the closer you go, the smaller your nose will look. So we like that. We like a nice small nose. This could change my life, you know. Just FYI. I've never done this before, so this is really fun. But I always struggle with contouring my nose. I can never get it right. I just feel like I have the ugliest nose in the world. It's just so wide for my face. So hopefully this will work and it will save me loads of time when I'm contouring. For blush, I'm going to be using this palette from Morphe, and I'm going to be taking this one here, which is called Creator. How cute is that? Oh look, Maker, Creator, Influencer. I love that. This is the Pop of Peach palette. How cute. So I'm going to be taking Creator, and I'm just going to pop that on the apples of my cheek. I do love peaches, and because this is a pink look, I just thought it would be nice to add a peach so it's not too like Barbie pink. I think I'm going to keep the lips really simple as well. I don't want like nudes or pinks. I think I might just line my lips and apply a bit of gloss and keep the lips quite muted and just make the eyes really pop. So I'm just going to take this palette from Sigma, and I'm going to take this one, I think. Which one we go? Yeah, I'm just going to take this one right here, Shine On, and I'm going to use that just to apply the tiniest amount of highlight just down the bridge of my nose here. And right here on the tip. I actually really like it in real life. Like, it looks really nice. But on camera it just looks like I have a brown patch on my nose, so I'm not sure if it's going to look well on camera. Fingers crossed, because it's going to ruin the whole look if I have like just like a brown nose. But in real life it looks really good. So we're going to go with it. And lastly, for highlight, I'm going to be taking the highlight brush from Sigma, and this is actually a new range of brushes from Sigma. They're like lower price range, so if you find the normal Sigma brushes are a little bit too expensive, these ones are a lot cheaper and really good quality as well, even just as good quality as the original Sigma brushes. So I would highly recommend you check these ones out, and I'll leave the link in the description box. I'm gonna have a discount code as well, Makeup by Saz, if you want to get yourself 10% off. Okay, and lastly for lips, I'm going to finish off with just a little bit of liner. This is called I Like It from So Sue. And then a gloss from Morphe. This is called Taunt. Oh no, sorry, wrong one. That's the lipstick. This one is called Boho. This is it. This is the finished look. I really hope you enjoy this creative Sunday tutorial and got some tips from it, and if not, I hope you just had a good time. Hope you had an ill time. Oh Lord. I swear I haven't had anything to drink, I'm just hyperactive. It's like, it's 12 minutes past 10 and I've just finished filming, and I still need to post an Instagram photo. What a day. I'm trying to get so much done this week. I'm like back to work next week. Holiday is over. Lockdown is over. Back to reality. So I'm trying to get as much filmed as I possibly can. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It would mean the world to me if you could give it a nice thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe as well before you leave. That will be amazing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for another beginner's makeup lesson, and I hope I get to see you in my next video. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.